Fortunately, I have a time machine.
Hold it!
Alright, so if I press on here... Can I say a different key? I'd like to suggest that a different key is required to open it. A different key? To open the box? As we saw earlier, the box wouldn't open with Mr. Andistan'dhin's key, which means that a different key, the true key, must exist. Are you kidding me? Of course not. You can't prove that it doesn't exist. That would be the devil's truth. No. Just calm down a second and think about it, lawyer man. Why in the world would I bring a fake key here with me? Why, you ask? Well, because... Well, I guess you got me there. Looks like that babbling brook you call a mouth is dried up at the source, Defense. Mess that one up. Alright. Continue, but then also go back and stop continuing.
Hold it!
Do. Normally there's a... I don't know. It might have been quicker for me to just reload instead of... Wait a sec, what's consult? It's a hint system? I guess it's a hint system.
Hold it!
I'm yawning so much. It's the worst. Secret hidden in the key. I'd like to examine it, if you please. Did we do this last time, or no? I'm afraid I haven't discovered anything, Your Majesty. Here. I told you, didn't I tell you? Yes, you told me. There's just no reasoning with this man. The accused forced the lock open. There's no other explanation. That's right. He desecrated the box by opening it without using this Midma key. Huh. Maybe I have to press on both of them and then have, like, Phoenix figures it out himself.
Hold it!
Okay. There must be some secret trick. So this we've seen. This is not new. It says, oh, it can change shape. No, obviously not. Now maybe I come here and say box instead of key. Oh. Oh, okay. So that's actually gone now.
Hold it!
Let's go. What was that just now? It's like there was something odd about his testimony. I can't afford to ignore any inconsistency, no matter how small. The smallest detail could blow the things wide open. I've got to use the evidence so long to pass to the truth.
Hold it!
Your sacred duty, huh? The problem with that is that I don't think you're really a true believer. Why, you... How dare you question my faith? It's downright insulting. I'm not trying to insult you, but I can't suspend logic either. You wormed your way into the temple with the intent of stealing that treasure, didn't you? I've had all the insults I can take out of you, lawyer trash. But you're the only one who can open the treasure box.
Hold it!
How do I explain why the box wouldn't unlock earlier?
Hold it!
No point in pressing on this, but I'll do it anyway. I'm not the one who'll be going to jail, Mr. Andistan'dhin. You are. You think so, huh? What do you think, people? It's not just me this lawyer is putting down. He's insulting Khura'inism and the Khura'inese people, too. If he thinks he can just get away with that, he's got another thing coming. Right, people? That's right. Disrespectful lawyers deserve to be removed post-haste. Gallery's getting real whipped up over this. You're going to jail. You, not me. Oh, it was a rhyme. What was that just now? It was like the... Okay. Oh, that's just the thing he says at the end. Got it. Okay. Press on the first thing, too, just in case. But the argument that the orb was already gone before the murder fits all the facts. It's no use even talking to you. Where's your proof that I stole the orb? Huh, lawyer trash? He's right. Don't have any proof yet, but I'll find some.
Hold it!
Oh, you can click and hold. I tried it before, it didn't seem to work.
Hold it!
I've already seen this one, I think.
Hold it!
Alright, so we've definitely... There isn't even an option to, like, press something and then do a different choice. We've got all the info we need. Only the... It's annoying that I can see it now. I can see the thing, the shape, but I don't know how to tell them that. I don't know if I can just like... Oh, okay. That's what he meant by I need to find any inconsistency. He's calling it the Mitma key now instead of the Magatama key. That's... Is this the only place where he does that? That's what it is. And that, yeah, that is a very, very small detail.
Objection!
Just a minute, Mr. Andistan'dhin. You called your key the Mitma key, didn't you? But didn't you originally say it's called the Magatama key? Yeah, but Magatama doesn't rhyme with anything. The Mitma key? What's that? I don't know, Your Majesty, but apparently it's a rather crucial question. What's the big deal? Teach you how to Phoenix in a moment. So I said the wrong thing. So what? Simple slip of the tongue. An A for effort, Mr. Wright, but your grandstanding betrays your desperation. So this is the 6th game in the series. It's a pretty, like, it's a fairly formulaic game. The idea is you're Phoenix Wright, defense attorney. You go, you wind up defending someone in court, and they seem super, super guilty at first. And little by little, through bluffing and through, like, trying to catch people out on tiny little mistakes that they make, you eventually work your way to finding out who the real murderer is. We've got, this is the guy we're defending. I'll be Ur'gaid. I didn't realize he was 9. He's an actual little kid, and he's on trial and going to receive the death penalty for treason because he stole the sacred treasure, as well as killing somebody. That's the prosecutor. This is the guy who was killed. Patrol. He was the guard who was guarding it. This is Rafa Padma Khura'in. She does divination seances. So, ghosts do actually exist in this world. Throughout the series, you have somebody who you know who can do a seance and channel the spirits of someone who has died, and that's some cases it doesn't come into play at all, but some other ones it does. And then what was the deal with the past couple of games? Apollo Justice didn't have any ghost summoning. Instead, he had some other kind of weird superpower where he had weird supervision. Like if somebody was telling a lie, he could see it just by examining their face and their body posture and everything. And then in Ace Attorney 5, you had the person who had psychology powers. They had this weird AI on a necklace that they could use to detect someone's emotions. I don't know if I like those as much as just going, yeah, no, we've just got spirit medium powers, whatever. And this is the guy who actually did it. And we're sure of that. It always ends with you find it. It's never just like, okay, well, we proved my client didn't do it. Go investigate the rest of it, police. No, you never find him. Your guy is never found not guilty until you actually get a confession out of the real murderer on the stand. Yeah, it's the early games in the series are much less I mean they're less wacky, I think. They're still very good though. This is a series that's been going on for a long time. The original Phoenix Wright game came out on the Game Boy Advance. So we're talking like probably more than 15 years ago at this point. And this is the 6th game in the main series, and they've also had a couple of spin-off games. I'm afraid a small slip of the tongue like that adds absolutely nothing to your argument. What say you, Defense? Is it an important detail? Judging by Andistan'dhin's reaction, I'd say it's everything my argument needs. Yes, Your Majesty, it's very important. This key is apparently not the Magatama key, but rather the Mitma key. And I believe this discrepancy holds great significance for the defense. I already know how, because I was way ahead of him. No, man, just a meaningless mistake. Insignificant. You're riding the crazy train to nowhere, lawyer man. Your Majesty, please don't pay the defense any heed. It's all nonsense. To tell the truth, I'm not really clear on what the defense is driving at myself. However, I am eager to find out. What? Defense. You will explain yourself like your life literally depends on it, because it does. Now then, is the name of the key an important detail? Yes, it's an absolutely important detail. Tomoyo. Because the Mitma key is connected to the Founder's Orb. I see. Very well. In that case, please show the court the grounds on which you are basing this claim. The grounds, Your Majesty? Magistry? See? Why do they do it to me? Why do they make up a word that's hard to say? You can, of course, show grounds, can you not, Defense? Of course. What else can I say? I have to come up with something. Anything. Even if it's just a bluff. The Mitma key. Mitma. There has to be something somewhere that ties Mitma and the orb together. I did a good job way before you, game. What evidence shows any connection with it? It's right there.
Take that!
Song lyrics. What's that? The Song of Ceremony? All this time, the answer was right there in front of me. It's right there in the Song of Ceremony performed during the Dance of Devotion. Your Majesty, the Song of Ceremony tells of the treasure of the founder of Khura'inism, but hidden within its lyrics. So, you've picked up on something a little weird. We are in another country here. He came here to visit Maya, who helped him out in the earlier games and has been like out of the series for 2 whole games now. And as soon as the plane landed, his tour guide he met this kid and he's like, "Oh yeah, let me show you on tour of the city." And they're like, "You're under arrest, kid, for stealing the sacred treasure and murdering someone." And Phoenix is like, "Oh man, well I'm a lawyer, maybe I can help out." And he walks into the courtroom and the judge is like, "Guilty." He's like, "Wait, what do you mean guilty? He doesn't have a defense attorney." Like, yeah, we don't do defense attorneys here. Because everybody in our entire country hates defense attorneys. In fact, we passed a law 20 years ago called the Defense Culpability Act, that if you're a defense attorney and you defend someone who's found guilty, you are sentenced to the same punishment as them. Cheesy. Cheesy on fly. What's up? In other games, it's never... I don't think they've ever had that happen before. Occasionally, 1 or 2 times, it's been like, oh, actually, maybe it's not your client after all. Maybe Phoenix Wright, you yourself are actually the murderer. And so if you lose, it's like, yeah, okay, you're found guilty. But how can that be, Defense? The Song of Ceremony contains the following lyrics. When the butterfly embraces the Mitma, the favor of the orb is bestowed. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty out there. There's also So this series I like. There's another somewhat similar series called Danganronpa. It's kind of a mix between this and, like, Saw. Like, the reason that there are court cases is that a bunch of high school students are trapped in a place and told the only way that you guys are stuck here forever unless one of you kills someone and gets away with it. And then you're like, no, we're all friends, we're not going to kill each other. And then somebody turns up dead. And then you have a court trial to show, like, that's, like, I can prove that's the guy who did it. That game is really great. I enjoyed that. I streamed all 3 of those, and those were a treat. Well, yes, it is the same word, but that doesn't mean... We've been calling this key the Magatama key, and that's why I inserted the key into the lock with the Magatama design on it. But that was obviously not the right way to use it. And I suppose you know the right way? Hiten style does, your majesty. You have to flip it vertically. If we turn the Magatama shape upside down like this, it becomes the Khura'inese symbol of the soul. In other words, a mitma. Oh my, you're absolutely right. But now what? What do you do with it? It's too big to fit in the lock that way. Oh, I knew he was just bluffing. Yeah, Serp has been here for all of the Danganronpas. They were super good. It was probably my favorite, like, stream experience playing through the Danganronpa series. I had a grand old time. And I was really, like, self-conscious about it at first, like, reading stuff out loud and giving a couple of people goofy voices. I'm not a very good voice actor, especially when I'm tired, which I am now, and especially when I've completely run out of unique voices to do for people. There must be some other place this key fits, but where? Let's see, what were the words to the Song of Ceremony again? When the butterfly embraces the mitma, the favor of the orb is bestowed. Where should the mitma key actually be used? Jonathan Blow! I don't know what that look was for. My goodness! The treasure box, it really opened! What? No! I'm not actually sure how this helps us, now that I think about it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the real secret behind the Song of Ceremony. It's the true key to opening the treasure box. It's all over, Mr. Payne. Yeah, there was... I managed to shed my self-consciousness about like, reading silly stuff out loud in funny voices around the time that I played Hatoful Boyfriend, which is a dating simulator where you date pigeons. Which was also a pretty, actually, surprisingly fun stream experience. Hatoful Boyfriend... I actually lost my mind during the final episode of it. Let's say someone was fooled into trying to force the front-facing lock open. Sadly for them, it won't budge. That's because the lock is, after all, just a decoy. Then what you're saying is... neither the victim nor the defendant would have been able to open the box. They therefore had no way of stealing the treasure. Doesn't breaking a lock mean that you break it? It doesn't have to be supposed to be opened that way. That's why it's called breaking it. The only one who could have stolen it is the man who knew about the mitma key. Pees'lubn and Andistan'dhin. But I'm not done yet. Please recall the scene of the crime. On the floor by Mr. Roll's body was the very unlocked and very open treasure box. Only someone who knew how to open the box could have left it in that state. And so, there can be only one true culprit. Admit it, Mr. Andistan'dhin, you're the one who killed Mr. Roll. Here's the breakdown. Is he gonna Marty McFly himself, like, right through the wall by blasting himself with the speakers? Or do that, I guess. Yeah, cuckoo. Okay. Curse him. It's all his fault. Why'd he have to try and steal the treasure? Why'd I have to spot him with that box? On my way to the storeroom after the morning dance. It's his fault I had to cause that blackout and clock him good. I couldn't let my secret get out. Nobody could know the treasure box was empty. I'd lose my position as head monk. Who knows what else they'd do to me? I couldn't let... I had to stop him. All right. What a shocking development. I can scarcely believe it. Nothing like this has ever happened since the DC Act was enacted. Need you san nen mai. No. My perfect, unblemished record destroyed. The incredible pain ruined. No! Did the lawyer really win? I can't believe it, rabble rabble. No way, this can't be happening, rabble rabble. Peace, I said peace. Honestly speaking, I'm just as shocked as everyone else. So the prosecutor, Payne, is someone that you've defeated in a previous game before, and he apparently moved here so that he could be a prosecutor in a world where there are no defense attorneys and he just automatically wins every time. Which is kind of funny. But the truth has been made known, so it's time for me to give my verdict. In the name of the Holy Mother, this court finds the accused, I'll be Ur'gaid, not guilty. And then Beatrice shows up? What was that? I get they don't have confetti here. That's the problem. Usually the crowd throws confetti because that's what you do when you come to watch a trial. You bring confetti so that when the person's found not guilty, you throw it. They didn't have any confetti here, so they use ghost butterflies instead. They're not golden, that's true. They were purple. There's still quite a commotion. The people in the gallery show no sign of clearing out. I can't believe it. Not guilty, murmur, murmur. I'm still in shock. Can you believe that guy, rabble, rabble? I can feel everybody's eyes on me. This can't be happening. It's impossible. Oh, Holy Mother, preserve us. I've never been in a defendant lobby quite this uncomfortable. Mr. Wright. Oh, I'll be. Thank you. Thank you so much for what you did for me. I'm just glad it turned out okay. It was touch and go there for a while. I'm really sorry, Mr. Wright. I had a really hard time trusting you at first. That's okay, Albie. I know how unpopular lawyers are in this country. But how did it ever get this way in the first place? Allow me to explain. At least I wish I could explain. But I don't really know why. I never even questioned it before today. By the time I was born, all the lawyers were already gone. As far back as I can remember, verdicts have been based on her benevolence's insights. Right, Rafa, the royal priestess. You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair? Do explain, outsider. How verdicts founded on truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality. Yeah, I guess we're like, could you explain why for 14 years before you were even born, how this whole thing started? For her part, I'm sure she really believes in what she says, but even with her benevolence's divine seances, lawyers are still necessary. Without proper defense, people could easily wind up receiving wrongful convictions. Mr. Wright, shh. Huh? Don't say that so loud. People might think you're a rebel. You could be arrested. A rebel? That's right. One of those people going against our queen and the court system. They call themselves the Defiant Dragons. And they're led by a scary guy named Dirk. Dirk. They'll do anything to overthrow her eminence, even commit crimes. Not criming! Never to do a criming! Dirk, I remember people in the gallery mentioning that name. This is a world, yes, where 13-year-old girls can be prosecutors. It's happened. Nope, I lost it. The things you're saying sound a lot like the stuff they say. But you're not scary like that Dirk guy. Oh, Gemma. Pardon the intrusion. Oh. Who are you, obviously, final boss? Yeah, you. I want to talk to you, see? Flight, is it? Right, sir. Phoenix Wright. And you are? I'm the Khura'in's Minister of Justice. The name's... What are you? The name's Inga Karkul Khura'in. Oh, I don't think it's a pun or anything. I think it's just a weird name. Inga Karkul. Serp, you're the master of this. Help me out. Is this a pun? Are they trying to be funny? Are you coming at me with a joke-like moniker? You? Inga Karkul Khura'in. Alright, I think that's just his name is all. I oversee the whole legal shebang. I was watching that three-ring circus in there. You were? Wow, the Minister of Justice. So he's in charge of the entire court system, Defense Culpability Act and all. Minister Inga, how are you, sir? Run along, Mini-Monk. Grown-ups are talking here. Yes, sir. Very sorry, sir. Looks punless to me. May I help you with something? Just wanted to get a good look at you. Guys like you aren't exactly dime a dozen around here. Ah, well then. He's eyeing me like I'm some kind of exotic creature in a cage. Oh yeah, might as well share this little morsel with you. Turns out Roll was a seasoned thief, a repeat offender, see? Had my men look into it, and they found all the booty he'd pilfered right there in his digs. But he seemed like such a nice man. Why, Mr. Roll, why? Guess he was doing it for the family. What a mook. A mook? How can you say that? It's the 21st century. Guess that kind of sob story gets you common folk all misty-eyed, huh? Anyway, another thing. I had my men check out that Andistan'dhin fellow, too. He wasn't the one with the sticky fingers, it's the insurgents. What? They put the squeeze on our head monk, apparently. So he gave up the Founder's Orb and tried to keep it hush-hush. Wow, I see. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. Say, what? That was a cute little number you pulled in my courtroom today, wasn't it? First not guilty ruling in 23 years. You're making waves, see? Stirring the pot. Catch my drift? Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier, is that the sort of inception of the series, like the inspiration behind the Phoenix Wright series, is that in Japan, and I don't know if this is maybe changing, but at least at the time that this game was created, it was actually quite difficult to find people not like. I don't want to make it up, but I have heard from people talking about like the Phoenix Wright game that yeah, it really was the case in Japan that prosecutors would have like a 99 point whatever % conviction rate, that you really would have prosecutors who could go for their whole career without ever having a not guilty, which is partly because just the way that their court system works. Like, they wouldn't prosecute someone unless they were already sure that they'd done it. But like once you got there, it was kind of just being railroaded into, oh, okay, he's in court, like he's in court, we're prosecuting him, okay, guilty. And that sort of like that this game was almost like a little bit of a criticism of the Japanese legal system, as a way of saying, okay, we'll make the protagonist a defense attorney who defends people in court, and even though it seems at first that they're clearly the guilty party, that, oh no, look, this could have happened, that could have happened, there's all of these holes, there's like, there's no evidence really that he did it. and then they spun it out into a whole series. There's a whole bunch of them now. Oh, well, yikes, I'm in for it now. Huh. But thanks to that song and dance, we know our Thanks to that song and dance, we know our precious national treasure got nicked. So I'm gonna call it a wash and let it slide this time. But all I did was defend the accused. You do best to read between the lines here, chump. You're standing on thin ice, you get my drift? Even a dirty, no-good-nick punk knows to cash in his chips before the house steps in. Do us both a favor. Keep an eye on the path you're walking down. You never know whose toes you might be stepping on. This ain't your turf, buddy. Never forget whose soil it is you're standing on. Twirl, twirl, mustache twirl. Yikes, he was kind of scary, wasn't he? Yeah, well, no use worrying about it. We have more important things to think about. Such as, when can we continue the sightseeing tour? Tour? Oh, anytime, sir. We still have plenty of time until Miss Maya's training ends. And there are still lots more temples to see, and all kinds of local foods to eat. I can show you the natural beauty of the area, and the waterfalls used for training, and I haven't shown you the breathtaking mountain view from the Plaza of Devotion yet. There's a place where they dangle off a real steep cliff and get a great view of the tile around the foot facade. Alright, slow down, Albie. There's plenty of time. And when we're done with all that, we can go see Miss Maya together. Yeah, you bet. Maya. I wonder how she's doing. Hope she's okay.
So, how about that not guilty, jerk?
I heard. Sounds like the winds of change are beginning to stir.
Okay. End. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-dum.